We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. Busy hour on tap. A lot of NBA. We have playoff games starting in about an hour. Derek Stevens in studio coming up in 30 minutes. Our best bets coming up at the back end of the show. We begin the hour by going out to the Progressive guest line. Matt Moore joins the program now, senior writer with Action Network, and he's on X at HP Basketball. He lives and breathes the association. It's great to talk to you, Matt. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How are you guys doing?
Doing really well.
Good, sir.
We're going to get to why you're super high on the Nuggets this year in the playoffs, but we have to begin with what happened over the weekend. Can you wrap your head around what was going on there between San Antonio and Denver and why San Antonio elected to, I guess, quote, lose the game?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that they're all kind of in the same position of like, look, the West is going to be difficult no matter what. It's going to be brutal no matter what. You face great teams every night no matter what. We've done all we can. We've locked the 2 seed. We can't get the 1. There's nothing for us to gain except risking health in order to knock Denver down. And I do believe that if you kind of play hard to knock Denver out, yeah, you might give yourself an easier route. But like, what if Houston catches you? I think there's like the whole karmic basketball god side of this. I understand from a game theory standpoint how important that is. But when you've locked your seed, whoever plays you is like, that's their problem. And so I don't really mind San Antonio and how they kind of approached it. I think it was better for them to not risk it. I'm actually surprised they played Castle as much as they did. They played Dylan Harper, who suffered an injury, as much as they did. So I don't have a problem with San Antonio avoiding knocking Denver out. Would the path have been easier? Yeah, but I think they recognize, look, Houston's really good. If the Lakers somehow get through and Luka gets back, they're really good. The Western Conference is tough. Let's make sure that we're in the best position and let everybody else deal with whatever they're going to deal with.
I liked I understood it from the Denver perspective. Let's be healthy. And maybe we can make the case it'd be more beneficial to take on OKC in the second round as opposed to the conference final.
Yeah, I mean, from Denver's perspective, they really were just like everyone I talked to was like, health is number one priority. Okay. And I asked, is it the only priority? And they're like, well, no. And I was like, okay. And I think they did think that Houston was an easier route, but they're not upset with the route that they got. I think they're confident in that. I think they do think they are just like, Houston's tough. The Wolves are tough. The playoffs are tough. You never know. They have, in their opinion, they lost 24 because they were gassed and Jamal Murray was hurt. They feel like they lost 25 because Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon were hurt. So their priority is making sure that they are in the best position. This team really believes that fully healthy, they can beat anybody.
So, okay, we obviously started by talking about the Spurs and everybody's freaking out about that. Why would they do that? They could have avoided Denver potentially in the second round. Now, what about this path for the Nuggets and getting the Wolves in the first round? Could that be kind of a trickier series than we're making it out to be, or no?
I think it could be. Like, obviously, Minnesota's had their number in 2024, and then I think swept them last year in the regular season series. But Denver's gone 3-1 versus them this year. A big differentiator is that Denver has so much more spacing this season than they did the prior two. The addition of Tim Hardaway Jr., Cam Johnson replacing Michael Porter Jr. with more on-ball chops. You've got Aaron Gordon. That's a fundamental difference. Is that the Aaron Gordon that they played 2 years ago in the playoffs was not a 40% three-point shooter. Aaron's been terrific in that role this season. So if you can't collapse the paint around Jokic, it fundamentally changes how you can guard, which is why Denver's had a lot of success. It's going to be a tough series. Minnesota's a really good team. They made the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. If they won this series, I'm not going to be like, oh my, how? But I am picking the Nuggets to go ahead and advance in the series. I'll be betting them to win the series. I do think that they have the edge on this version of Minnesota, which has been so inconsistent this year and is entering the playoffs really pretty banged up.
Why will Denver get by San Antonio?
San Antonio has a real difficulty with teams that are able to play with this much size. So one of the things is that San Antonio's 3-point shooting can be really good, or it can be sporadic in terms of the shots that they get to. They can attack downhill, but when Denver's engaged, they play pick and roll at the level so much in terms of the defender coming up to the level of the screen. That takes away a lot of what San Antonio wants to do. Aaron Gordon is pretty much the perfect defender for Victor Wembanyama. You want a big power forward who can put an elbow into his back, knock him out of position, and play super physical with him. That's something that Victor's not really used to. One of the things here is just we do not see these teams in their first playoff run. We got 0 playoff experience for Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, very little playoff experience for Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. This is an inexperienced team. Those teams usually do not make it to conference finals in their first run. You think about the Thunder 2 years ago, losing to the Mavericks. Right. You got to go through it first. And so I would be very surprised if the Spurs were to make the conference finals. They're good enough, but I think that inexperience catches them, and I like Denver to advance over them in the second round.
And then win one round even more than that and come out of the West?
That's where it gets tough. I think the best way to kind of do this is set yourself up in a position where you've got a great Nuggets ticket at long odds and then bet the other way, because OKC is just such a monster, man. They're just so difficult. And look, Denver took them to 7 last year with a team that hated each other. They were not in a good space mentally, had fired their coach and their GM. Their starting small forward shooter couldn't lift his shoulder ahead of it, above his arm above his shoulder. In the playoffs, I was in the locker room watching him. Michael Porter Jr. had to be helped out of his jersey because he couldn't lift his arm up. Aaron Gordon on one hamstring, and they still took him to 7. That's probably instructive of what they're capable of, but OKC's better than they were last year too. So OKC probably gets by them, but I do think Denver is live in that series versus OKC.
All right, very good. Matt Moore, our guest, he's on X at HP Basketball, senior writer, Action Network. Your strongest opinion for a first-round series would be what?
If we're excluding Rockets, Lakers, which, oh boy. My strongest is probably going to be that the Knicks are going to smash the Hawks. I hate this matchup for the Atlanta. Yeah, it's a really bad matchup, I think, for Atlanta. So a lot of it is that Atlanta's success after the All-Star break is because they went small. And that works if you're able to capably force teams into switch situations. If you go back and watch, every single time they put 2 on ball on Jalen Brunson and tried to blitz him because Brunson's so quick and so shifty. Well, if you do that, he's got the pocket pass to Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson, or OG Anunoby if they use him in the screener spot. And you're like, all right, we got Mitchell Robinson in space. The problem is there's no rim protection behind Onyeka Okongwu. So you've got all these small guys, and Mitchell Robinson literally just goes down the lane and dunks over and over and over again. My model numbers like Atlanta. They like Atlanta a lot. And so I'm kind of in a torn on this. I just think that the Knicks are going to be able to get what they want in this series. I think Atlanta's defense was boosted by playing a lot of really tanky teams late in the season and some shooting variance. I think it comes back to earth. I like New York's floor a lot. I think the Knicks are going to get past the Hawks in between 5 and 6 games.
Okay, there's some big tickets out there on the Celtics. How do you see the East playing out if form holds and we get the big 4 in the second round?
Well, I don't think we're getting the big 4 in the second round because I think the Raptors are going to upset the Cavaliers, which might be my hottest take.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Yeah, I do not like this matchup for the Cavs at all. A lot of it is everybody's like, oh, the Raptors can't shoot enough. No. The Raptors bench can't shoot. But you can build lineups that have enough shooting with Emmanuel Quickly and with RJ Barrett. The staggered lineups are actually really pretty valid. A lot of the matchup stuff I see in this series leans towards Toronto. I love them plus 2.5. I love them plus 1.5 and some escalators. I don't like taking a Brandon Ingram team. That makes me uncomfortable, but I do like Scotty Barnes and the versatility. This Cavs team has not earned my trust. So I don't think we're getting the big 4. Celtics Knicks, I think, is going to be the conference finals because I'm worried about Detroit on the other side of this getting past the second round because when you look at historically teams, Detroit's 15th in effective field goal percentage. The average exit for those teams is second round over the last 20 years. And there's only been a handful, 3 to 4 teams, I think, that have actually made the conference finals when they can't shoot that well. And so I think Detroit's in real trouble here. I think Boston versus New York is the conference finals. That one I'm really up in the air on because of how these matchups have gone. New York wins last year. I do think the Celtics are the most likely team. If you told me you got to pick one, you got to put a ticket in on one team, I'll take Boston to come out of the East.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Okay, so playing games coming up tonight. These numbers have been moving. We've been on the air since 1 o'clock Pacific time, so more than 2 hours now. They've been moving a little bit back and forth here. Now the Suns down to 2.5, and the Hornets, they look like 5.5, maybe 6. Do you have a strong opinion on either one of these games tonight, Matt?
Not strong, but I've got sides. I like the Hornets here. They've got a lot of matchup advantages, I think, with terms of the spacing and what they're able to provide. Heat offense has been a little bit better lately, but their defense has been so bad. Their record with Tyler Hero and Norman Powell together is abysmal, both straight up and ATS. They've been horrific in games where both of those two guys play. As much as the Heat are stubborn and obstinate, I do think the Hornets get by them. I like the over in that game, even though most of the play-in games go under. In the late game, love the under, even though it's come down, I think, 2 points since open on Blazers versus Suns. I like the Blazers in this one. I make the Suns -1. I think it's going to be an ugly game, and Portland's able to get by. And actually, I do not like this Portland team, but I think they're going to make the 7 seed and face the San Antonio Spurs.
When you love an under, do you look at playing alts?
Not as much in the play-in tournament game, especially not in a game like this where we've already seen so much market movement. I think if we got a high total, I think that's really the one to go in when everyone's like, oh, this is a shootout. Well, maybe you should go the other way and play the other side of it. But to me, I don't think there's really an opportunity to play the alts here.
So when we watch the Hornets game tonight against the Heat, are we going to be looking at the Rookie of the Year?
I think so. I think Con Knipple is going to win it. I think it's very close. I don't think there's a wrong answer between him and Con, but based off of all the stuff I've seen and voters I've talked to, I definitely think Con Knipple is going to win. I think this is going to be a pretty it's going to be a wider gap than it feels like between those two players because most voters kind of coalesce around one guy. Between the straw poll and then like there was a couple of other polls and some voters I've talked to, Con's done enough to win it.
Very good. I noticed, by the way, a little earlier today that in prediction markets, Missoula got to like higher than $7 to win Coach of the Year. Is that the way that's going to unfold? Is it worth taking a little Bickerstaff right now or no?
I don't think so. I just don't think that there's been enough buzz around Bickerstaff with Cade and how good he's been. I think Missoula, I think everyone goes, you didn't have Jason Tatum and they're the 2 seed. Because a lot of this is you either want a team that wins a ton of games or you want a team where they exceeded their win total by a ton. That's actually been a great historical marker. The Celtics are both without Tatum. So now there's this entire kind of narrative around it. I think Missoula is absolutely going to win Coach of the Year.
Okay, very strong. Follow Matt on X. He's at HP Basketball. Big fan, Matt. Thanks for the time. Enjoy the games tonight and this week.
Anytime, guys. Take care.
I love his passion for the sport. It's like unmatched. Senior writer, Action Network.
Good job. A lot of opinions.
Yes.
Great.
We'll expand on the play-in games coming up. And I can see why the total has dropped since the opening number. Details next year. And Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Play-in games coming up tonight. Game 1, it tips off in an hour and 15 minutes in Charlotte. The Heat taking on the Hornets. Hornets are 5.5, now -120 at DK. 6 is out there at most spots. And the total down to 228.5. Conversation here, Pauly, that we've had about this team before. I have called the Charlotte Hornets on this show before this year like the most irrelevant professional organization in any of the 4 major sports on this continent. Honestly, like, what have they done? They played in the play-in game twice, like 2021, 2022. Those teams were so unmemorable that I can't recall those games, and they got blasted by almost 30 in both of them.
You go back to Grandmama.
Probably.
Larry Johnson. Yes.
Don't we think this place is going to be on fire tonight for a team that is actually good?
That's why it's a big deal. You're right. The 9-year playoff drought, nothing to root for, long time coming. Certainly not a typical 9 seed because they got off to that horrible start, which we've talked about, 4-14 and 11-23 on January 2nd. But a solid resume and a fun team. And once they got that starting 5 in there, they were kicking ass and taking names. But, you don't want to get too hyped tonight. That's the one thing. You're going against a team that's been here before and a team that, again, 4 years in a row, bam, sick of it. But 4 years in a row, they've been in the play-in. So they know how to get out of this. But with this March Madness type feel, if you lose, the season's over. They need to come out with a sense of urgency. They're the better team. I know there were some guys out, but you blasted them by 30 the last time they played. You have problems with size, and you have problems in clutch games and close games in the last 5 minutes. But it shouldn't come down to that tonight. You're the better team, and you've proven it since January 2nd. You should win, get the home win, and move on to Friday night.
So since the beginning of this year, when the calendar flipped to January 1st, 33-16, the second best efficiency differential in the entire league at plus 11.5. To compare that to Miami, the Heat were 25-24, one game over 500. Their efficiency differential was plus 1.5. That is a difference of 10 overall points. Not even close. And since the break, here's a couple of concerns here. It's up. Spoelstra was awesome.
No doubt.
They have been in the play-in now 4 consecutive years. The 3 years previous to this one, they came out of the play-in every single time. And on top of that, Charlotte, they take a lot of threes. They have made a lot of threes since the break, averaging 18.3. Imagine having this conversation 15 years ago. Here's a team that's going to average 18.5 made threes per game. Are you kidding me? On 39% shooting. If they're not going down tonight, Miami's going to win this game. They have to hit their threes. And
hold on. Well, is Miami going to get stops?
Yes, they are, because if they're
28th
not
28th in defense going back.
But my point is, like,
last 15.
There can be variance in 3-point shooting. And if it's a cold night tonight, then curtains.
Maybe you're concerned about the rookie Knipple, even though he set the record. And boy, LaMelo's going to take some bizarre shots. And it's going to be, especially if he's hot. And there's a heat check. I mean, they're going to be going up from Curry land.
Oh, he'll jackknife a 28-footer like on a fast break.
And it's just incredible, his step back, too. Where he'll come and go behind the back, step back, and then take that quick shot as well. But, that's where you have to rely on Miller. Whalen's right. Maybe Moose gets loose. But as you've talked about many times, I don't know what the hell the Chicago Bulls are doing. I love the acquisition of Kobe White.
Yeah.
He can also score, too. So and Nick's probably right with Hawkes as well. And Hawkes can score, and he's played well this season. His point prop is only 12.5, 11.5. Depends where you bet it. But I think we're going to get an entertaining game. Miami was number 1 in pace. They were so bad defensively. But I do think we're getting carried away here with the 6.5s and the 6s, though, that are out there. But make no mistake about it. They're the better team, and they got to win this game at home. Because your A game is so good. But you can't come out and have a bad 5-10 minutes knowing that can send you home. And then your season's over and all this. You won 44 games and went to OKC and LA and Boston and blasted them all for naught. Can't have it. Got to get it done.
Right. No, that could be an in-play thing that I'm talking about as well, a live wagering thing. I'm saying, what if they are going in and they hit 23 of them tonight? Then they'll cover alt numbers in this spot. You're right. I mean, if you just go on, based on numbers alone since January 1st, essentially, they're the better team, and it's not even close. Now, that said, that's just going by the numbers. Miami did have their number this year. They took 3 out of 4.
Yeah. Some of them were early, though, right?
Yeah.
2 of them were early.
Well, the one in March killed me.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
That's when everyone was buying in, and everyone in the national media was saying they can win the division. Watch out, here they come. And then they lost that game and could not guard Hero or get stops. They also blew that game against Philly at home. They were up 15 and lost that game. Mm-hmm. And they had a couple other tough losses down the stretch.
Oh, they had the lead late in the fourth quarter against the Celtics. Not, what was it, last week?
Yeah, two different 8-0 runs. That's right. That's right. And that's sometimes where you question shot selection as well. To me, they're too talented to go through these stretches where they don't score. But I think defensively they'll be strong and get stops, and they've been good defensively and an under team, as Nick Whalen mentioned earlier as well. I do like Phoenix, though. I think we're getting carried away with Portland. Portland's a great story ahead of schedule. And again, the chaos where Billups gets rested after the first game. Splitter did a great job. 42-40 on the season. Avia's great. This is also a good story, too, with the Suns, who weren't expected to even sniff the playoffs. But to be the 7th seed and be in the mix for the Pacific Division much of the year, I think Booker will be too much, and they'll win this game. And I took money line with the Suns.
Okay. We're going to expand on this coming up tomorrow and the rest of the week, but you can always find great bets to look at anyway, markets for these series, like who's going to lead a certain series in assists or three-pointers made or rebounds or whatever. In that game tonight, specifically talking about Portland and Phoenix. So you kind of referenced it there. You think Booker's going to have the game, but would you take a look at Avdia for the leading scorer of the game tonight? His prop is 24.5. Booker is 27.5. You probably get a little plus money on you. Well, you will find a little plus money on him.
No, I'd still say Booker.
You think Booker?
Just because there's so many guys. Kamara's been great. Klingen's been good. Holiday's been good. I just think they spread it out and they have too many guys that can score. And I would say,
what if the guy's Jalen Green?
No, I don't see that.
Okay, that would be a huge price.
The other thing too, you got Grant and Allen who are questionable. That's the other thing. And the Portland money keeps coming in. Was this 4? This was 5, right? 4.5, 5?
4.5, yeah.
Okay, down to 2.5. But if you have a compromised Grayson Allen, that's going to be trouble.
That would be a potential. That's the guy was a key cog, obviously, on the team. Then this is why the total dropping like it has, and I'm seeing 215.5s out there right now. Opened up again briefly. DraftKings 222.5. I don't think that's even like a fair opener because it moved so quickly. But was sitting out there at 218.5 for a while. Both teams are really good defensively in points per 100 possessions allowed in the half court as well. And this could be a half court game because Phoenix like to slow it down. And offensively, they're not great in the half court. So you have that going. Both teams take a lot of threes. They make a lot of threes, but the Suns and the Blazers are really good at defending the three. Like the Suns allowed 12.2 threes per game this year, 4th best in the entire NBA. Portland allowed slightly more than that, 12.5. So if they're very good at defending the threes and they're not great in the half court, again, to me, I don't know if I want to tell you to rush out and bet 215.5 when it was sitting there 218.5 like 2 days ago, but I'm not going to be stunned if like alt unders come in, and that's what I was kind of asking Matt Moore in the previous segment. He said he loved the under when it first opened. So like 101, 105, 101 in that range. Not going to fall off my couch tonight.
That's fair. I can't get there with the first game, though, just because of Miami's frenetic
pace.
I'm not
going to bet the under in that game. No.
And I agree with Nick. The first game tomorrow, and it was supposed to be Orlando and Philly tonight, but the Flyers are at home. I mean, this thing, how do you take with the unnamed source saying they got to fire this guy or I'm not coming back, and the players can't stand the coach, right, and they laid the giant egg against Boston, but then I don't have Embiid, and who knows what I'm going to get out of Philly. Where that is,
well, that's
that's like the Jeff Sherman angle, though, where Orlando was so bad and everyone's talking about him for all the wrong reasons that they would come out and then win the game,
bounce back, win, look good.
So you got to respect your opponent. They didn't plan on playing Bane. It was going to they were doing the Bridges nonsense. Just come in, opening tap, keep the streak alive, whatever. Just get your couple minutes and go home. The next thing you know, we blew the 10-point lead. Well, Shireman's hitting threes. We're losing now.
Here's what you have to ask yourself about that game. If you're going to continue, like fade Orlando, didn't like what you watched, are you going to be happy with yourself backing the Sixers in the playoffs without Embiid once they lose the game by 15? You're going to be pissed.
Yeah, I know.
Like I fell for it again.
That's true. Right now on vsin.com, completely free, no subscription needed. Access MLB and NBA prop projections, powered by OptAI, plus real-time betting splits from DK and Circa. Pro-level tools, zero cost, only for a limited time. Check it out. You'll love it. Head to vsin.com. Start using them today. vsin.com.
Let's follow the money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Email is ftm@vsin.com. On X during the show, easiest spot to see your responses at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. Derek Stevens, owner, CEO of Circa Las Vegas, makes his weekly appearance coming up next. Did prediction markets impact Masters betting handle here and in the state of Nevada? We'll ask him next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome in. Time now for our weekly conversation. Derek Stevens joins the set. He is the owner and the CEO of this great property, Circa Las Vegas, along with the D in Golden Gate here in downtown. Good to see you again. How are you?
All right. Real good, guys.
Let's begin here. You told us now after the Super Bowl, and then again recently after the first weekend of March Madness, that the handle was down based on an impact negatively from prediction markets. Was that the same thing for the Masters?
I would say so. I mean, handle was definitely down. Now what's interesting is for us, Circa Sports, because we're maybe a little different, our revenue isn't down, but our handle's way down. Kind of tells you I think maybe we got some sharp players that are playing in prediction markets, things like that. So our revenue hasn't declined. Our revenue's been fine, but all that big sharp handle, I think, has impacted the overall handle.
Interesting.
Which means that what we pay in federal excise tax is going to be way down, because we pay 0.25% on all bets.
Oh yeah.
Well, the overall handle's down, so we're not paying federal excise tax as much.
Are prediction markets available in other Circa states? Because they're not here in Nevada.
They're not in Nevada, but I think they're in
pretty much all the other ones.
Pretty much all the other ones. I don't know. I've been following the court cases today because it's changing all the time. But I know not Nevada, but I'm not sure about other states.
Did you think it was over Friday with a 6-shot lead?
Ooh, I thought. I mean, he was what was he? He was minus 245.
Yes.
Yeah.
And couldn't hit a fairway. But
minus
so 6-shot
245. The comeback was plus 215. Which was like on the Rory no.
Yeah.
And we were all talking about this Friday night. The Rory no, we're thinking, man, you could get the whole field at plus 215. But then there was a lot of arguments like, man, he's got a 6-shot lead. Maybe he's going to run away with this. The majority of the crew that I was hanging out with on Friday were all taking the Rory no plus 215. And then we're able to hedge that all out, with a plus number on Saturday night.
Yes.
That, and also on Sunday when he got all the way back to 9 under, and he was a couple of strokes off the lead at that point.
Right. Amazing. What a tournament.
It was incredible.
It was absolutely stunning. I was just amazed. It was enthralling.
How about 12 under wins it? He's 9 under, and he's going to rally to win, but only 12 under wins the tournament then, as everyone collapsed around him, too.
And on Sunday morning, they thought that we were going to see an all-time record number of people under 70, all-time record, potentially see a 63 out there, break some records, but it just didn't happen.
Nobody other than Scheffler could make a run in the back 9.
Yeah.
Nobody could put it together.
Right. Boy, Scheffler made it interesting, didn't he?
Oh,
he did.
Man, oh, man.
What did he miss that putt by in 17? A millimeter?
Yeah.
The way it felt?
What do you have planned, and are you excited for the draft?
Yeah, I'm excited for the draft a little bit. I'll probably be in here watching the first round in here.
Okay. Nothing with the props, though?
Stay away from
Stay away from it.
Should be illegal.
Okay.
When you come on the show next week, will props be up here, you think, or not?
Oh God, I hope
happening.
not. I'm gonna. We're gonna shorten the window as much as possible. I think we're probably gonna have maybe 4 or 5 days worth of action. So next week, we'll probably be right about there.
Anybody from your crew behind the book here fight you on this? Do they want to put them up longer, or are they okay with that?
Yeah, this has been a pretty spirited discussion over the last 3-4 years. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is my crew comes in and says, okay, here's the opening, part of the meeting. Okay, what's our acceptable loss this year? And I say, wait a second, it's the wrong way to open. I don't want to take a loser. Well, can you win? No. You got any shot? No. What if you get lucky? Man, we'd have to get so lucky. If we get really, really lucky, we'll break even. I'm like, why are we doing this? We give the best odds out every day. Why are we doing this? He goes, well, it's good customer service. I go, there's not a lot of retail play on this. Every guy that's going to bet's going to win. They all know more than all of us. Why are we doing this? But anyway,
that's very good.
That's
interesting.
That's a little synopsis of 30 seconds of what a 3-hour battle is.
That's the real the comeback is no, we can't win. That's
Pretty
what they say?
Yeah, if we get lucky, we'd have to get lucky. But no, you cannot win on this.
Unbelievable.
So I go, well, why don't we just put like $100 in every person's account? Let's just do that. That way we know how much we lose. Let's do that everywhere, every state. Let's do that. At least we know. At least we know. Why sweat it out? Why sweat it out? We know we're going to lose.
Awesome.
The hell with the draft.
Is that a consideration?
Wow.
Something you guys don't like to do, but would you put very small limits on it?
Yeah. We're gonna have small limits on it. We had small limits on it last year. I think we mitigated a pretty big loss just because we're gonna take small limits and move numbers like crazy. And yeah, that's the only way we could book it. This is not a bookable event, in my opinion.
Okay, I know.
There's a lot of other things in life I'd say I would love to book. I would love to book something that has it's a reasonable market, but this is an unreasonable market. There's too many people that know the answer before it starts.
Okay, fair enough. You were tight with Cassidy. The decision appears that it's going to work out at least short term, and if they just get a point tomorrow, they win the division.
Yeah. Isn't this amazing? The whole community was shocked on the news. But boy, you got to give it to McCrimmon and McPhee. They don't hold back in what they're doing, and all of a sudden things get mixed up. Banksy will say, they haven't played anybody yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. They mixed it up right at the right time. We talk about pulling the trigger at the last second. 8 games to go in the season.
No kidding.
Now, they could be number one in the West, number 2. I don't know. It should be interesting.
Yeah, goaltending's been there, and the win at Edmonton was impressive as well. What was the weekend like? And congrats to your son, but what was that like with the wedding and the Masters and going around town and then the whole event?
Yeah, obviously, personally, I had a big weekend, like 280 people in watch for my son's wedding. That was pretty fun. It was a lot of fun. And then the Masters, man, it's just growing and growing and growing. It is definitely turned into a premier weekend in Las Vegas. Masters golf, and obviously this year weather was perfect, but in here it was packed. Here it was packed. Stadium Swim sold out. It was awesome. And I do think that coverage, now that they've expanded this coverage and you can get a little bit more of it through streaming, it starts earlier, it's really turned into something great. Now, obviously, this was a great tournament, too.
Yep. What are you guys anticipating for the World Cup? That's a good month-long event, maybe a little bit longer than that. And it's now on American soil, so these times are going to actually be doable for big crowds.
This is one where, we don't really know what we're going to get. But I will tell you, expectations are high. They are very, very high. This is going to massively impact our entire second quarter.
It has to.
We're fired up. We're going to show at Circa. We will show every World Cup game with audio at one of our locations. So every World Cup game. So we think that the timing, this is just going to be outstanding.
Oh, your crowds for the USA matches are going to be, 7, 8 deep probably here at some of the spots, and Stadium Swim will have to be sold out for that too.
They're all on good days too.
Yeah.
Good days, regular times. It's going to be terrific. Yeah, no, I expect World Cup definitely the best by far we've ever seen.
So what happens now with your son and his new bride? 30 years old. They just got married, as you guys just talked about. What's next for them? Honeymoon plan? Did they stay here in town? Where are they going? What are they doing?
Yeah, they went back to work for a couple of days, and their honeymoon starts on Thursday. So they got out of here on Monday. Couple days, check in, sure do emails, coordinate, and then they're off on Thursday for 10-day honeymoon.
Will you check in with them during the honeymoon, or just have at it, go have fun, and that's it? We'll see you when it's over with.
I do text with my my son pretty often. I'm sure he's going to send some photographs and stuff like that. But no, I'm not going to be. I'm going to let him do their thing, but I'm sure he's going to be texting me and calling every now and then.
Yeah. I think we went on our honeymoon to Cabo. I think I put my phone in the drawer on the day that we got there, and I never looked at it until like the day before we left.
Really?
Now, this goes back to like 2010, so it's a while back, but obviously phones were still, the iPhone was still around, and it was just, I didn't even look. I said, and put it away, and that's it. Let's have some fun.
There you go.
Yeah. It was a great decision. Kind of like White Lotus. Take your phone here at the beginning of the vacation. You can't do anything about it. Yeah.
How long were you there?
10 days, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strong.
It was great.
Where are you guys going to be for the draft?
Right here.
You'll be right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is it.
All right. Good.
Hopefully there's some trades. Would you start Mendoza right away?
No.
Or Cousins?
No, I love this Cousins idea. A
You
leader
like it? Do you?
I think the Raiders did a great job in the offseason.
Okay.
I think they're doing a great job.
All right.
Good to see you again, Derek. Thank you for the time. We appreciate that.
Thanks, fellas.
There you go. Derek Stevens, owner, CEO of Circa Las Vegas, the D, and also the Golden Gate here downtown. Up next, we'll recap our bets from last night and tell you what we've added for tonight's action and beyond in Pocket Plays here and Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
The guy has an algorithm to determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
All right. Lightning let us down. It would have been a winning night. Predators, no good. They'd won 15 in a row against the Sharks. They needed it, but didn't come through. Kings took out the Kraken. Almost blew a big lead, but hung on 5-3. Lightning won, but won in overtime. Blew a 2-goal lead in the third period. And Pajes went deep off Peterson as he has owned him. Came into the game hitting over 600 career against Peterson. And Pajes leads in RBIs and average in MLB. See if he continues tonight against the Mets. It starts tonight. Hornets make the playoffs. No minus 150. They got to win 2. But a 6-point favorite tonight. Then they hit the road on Friday if they win. Warriors to make the playoffs. No plus 320. Tottenham to stay up. Lakers Rockets game 1 over 207.5. Knicks Hawks over 5.5 games. Although our guest Matt Moore says it will not go well for Atlanta. Bad matchup. Does think Toronto can pull the upset. This is up at several books. Look for this now. As Mitch said earlier, you can bet most points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers every series in the NBA playoffs. Durant is plus 125 to have the most points in the Lakers-Rockets series. LeBron's been hot, but that's a lot of respect for LeBron. He also likes to get his teammates involved. I think Durant will score more. This has moved big time. Montreal in regulation, it was $1.15. It's up to $1.70 in some spots. Flyers sitting people. They clinched last night, back-to-back. That is up to $3.05. That moved 50 cents in a span of 5 minutes while we're on the air in the second hour of the show. Nothing but Montreal money. Montreal needs it for home ice. And Utah trying to avoid Colorado. Utah needs this tonight. They're $1.05. They were $1.05 to win in regulation as well. Vegas opens $2.90 tomorrow at home against Seattle. All they need is a point to win the division. They're like minus 180 to win in regulation, but should take out Seattle tomorrow, as they're going to.
Well, they'd also be okay with just going to overtime.
That's true.
You know?
That is true. Good win last night. Fun third period.
All right, go get him, Pauly. So we're a little opposite here. Hornets to make the playoffs at 14-1. Pirates, Braves, most wins in April. I cashed out of the Chiefs bet, by the way, yesterday live on the air, tight end, 14-1, and I rolled that over into Dylan Thieneman, top 10 at 15-1, and David Bailey, number 2 pick overall, plus 185. A couple of other bets that we have tonight. Mentioned this game's already underway, but mentioned this several times on the show today, and that would be Tigers, minus 115 against the Royals in action right now. Valdez against Reagans. I'm on Noah Schultz, this phenom for the White Sox, over 4.5 Ks. And also, I took the Heat plus the 6. Officially a bet for me here as well in Pocket Plays. Heat tonight plus the 6.
Win them both.
It's a high number.
It is.
I get it. Again, the Hornets have been the much better basketball team than Miami going back a good 3 months. Miami's also done really well against Charlotte this year. And it's Spoelstra, and Hero's going to go, and Powell's going to play in this game. And it's the young, inexperienced kids from Charlotte taking on this veteran group, and I think it's a big number. So I'm on Miami.
Play-in tournament starts today. 3 days left, NHL regular season. Every game matters. So does every bet. VSiN Pro gives you daily best bets, real-time betting splits from DK and Circa. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get ahead of the action now. VSiN.com/subscribe. And while you're at it, also check out the Sharp Plays, baseball every day, NBA, NHL playoffs. Sharp Plays covers it all. When they move, the books take notice. Advanced AI, trusted insider intel. They find value before the numbers shift. Respected, watched, and feared. Start winning with them at sharpplays.com. Ballots starting to leak out. Matt Moore touched on this earlier. Knipple now favored Rookie of the Year.
Well, it also ties into Missoula, why he is a $7 favorite. If you missed Matt Moore earlier this hour,
that's wild.
He was very strong on both of them, had a very strong opinion on a first-round matchup.
Yep.
But he basically said that everybody he talks to, some are voters, they think it's Missoula absolutely as the coach of the year. And in fact, I'll double-check right now. At prediction markets earlier today, Missoula got as high as $7 actually to win the award. $7. And Bickerstaff,
they plus 280 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. He was still plus 150 before the end of the regular season.
Well, Detroit did really exceed expectations, and again, they were like 6-1 to win the division, and they get the 1 seed. So a big improvement on what their regular season wins total was. But he's right that Missoula did both. Celtics were 42.5, expected to be in like that 7-8 range, play-in range,
yep.
And then to do it without Tatum and win the division.
So right
excellent
now,
job.
Missoula's minus 660
wow.
to win the award. And I asked him, would it be worth taking a little Bickerstaff at this point at plus money? And he's down from where he is, but he's still plus 528 the way it looks. Absolutely not. Not worth it to take Bickerstaff. Incredible.
These swings are nuts. Like the Knipple from 260 to 2,500 to the underdog, back to the favorite. Flag got as high as 220.
Knipple, yeah, minus 168 right now. I'll tell you this. There are going to be people out there, probably with some pretty decent numbers on JB Bickerstaff, that are going to be, who will be pissed off if he doesn't win that award. And they'll have a case. He incredible job out of him this year.
Yep. So I think Ovechkin said he's going to make his announcement in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Penguins wanted to shake hands, but he waved them off. So maybe this isn't it tonight. He doesn't retire. But still, people making the case you got to bet Ovechkin to score a goal tonight. It's Judge home run territory price.
I thought the day would have been Sunday against Pittsburgh when they sat everybody, and he was about plus 190 in what could have been his last ever home game.
Yeah.
But that wasn't it. In fact, he only had 3 shots on goal in that game. I can't get. There's no way I can get involved tonight.
So you're more of you don't think they could be high scoring tonight or goal in the first 10. You're more like you saw the start, anyways. The first 2 periods last night, nothing happened.
Oh, nothing happened.
But then all hell broke loose.
Yeah, that's
so. With teams playing out the string, do you want overs or do you want unders?
Well,
it's tough.
Is there any? If you go back to Sunday in the NBA, I mean, what do a lot of those teams have to play for?
Yeah,
and they're playing a bunch, and the games flew over the total.
Yes.
I get a different sport, everything like this, but I mean, they were raining threes, and I mean, some of those out numbers that you could have had in those NBA games were just cashing to the moon. So I don't know. I'm treading lightly overall with that sport for the waiting for the playoffs and maybe attacking it from a ties perspective once the playoffs are here, much like Rich in Canada.
Well, you love it with the Kings in there. You know what to do with every Kings game.
Yeah.
Utah needs to win. Get the first wild card to get the Pacific winner. Like them tonight, as I said earlier. Montreal playing for home ice against Tampa. Boston with a win would be the first wild card and play Buffalo. And Anaheim can still win the division or finish in 4th with 2 games left. 90 points. Just for the love of God. It's all over social media, and they're right. No Edmonton, LA for the 5th straight year. Cannot have that.
I know.
Can't run your sport like that either.
No.
That's the other thing.
It's a really dumb system.
Totally. Like you pointed out earlier with the points differential and discrepancy.
The Eastern Conference blows away.
That conferences too.
Let me run this by you. Mark has been all over this on X. FanDuel offers combined strikeouts by starting pitchers in the same game. And the example I brought up earlier today was the Blue Jays-Milwaukee game, Blue Jays-Brewers. It's Gossman against Mizorowski, 13-plus combined, minus 134. The Miz might strike out 13 on his own. 14-plus is plus 124, combined. Gossman striking out 13.5 per 9 right now. Yelich out a month, by the way. Horrible news for the Brewers.
Yeah, I know.
They'll let you climb all the way to 19-plus strikeouts. That's 13-1. That is intriguing to me. 16-plus, plus 330. Miz can have 9, Gossman can have 7 to get it there.
That's true.
It's a very creative and fun market to actually ponder when you have some of these studs going in the same game.
Some of the numbers are in. 11 of the 13 ESPN writers picked the Clippers tomorrow. 11 of the 13. All 12 picked Denver to beat Minnesota.
Here we go again.
All 12 picked the Knicks to beat Atlanta. 11 of the 12 picked the Rockets. And one person stepped out. And apparently Redick threw cold water on these guys.
That's the way it sounds.
But
Reeves and Luka.
the Windhorst thing was good. Windhorst hearing from L.A. sources, if one guy's coming back sooner, it's going to be Reeves, not Luka. Sooner rather than later.
Well, I can't disagree with, though, like 11 out of the 12 or 12 out of 12. Nothing's going to be as bad as a couple years ago when the Hawks and Knicks were a dead pick'em, and every single person picked the Knicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Good
Stay tuned. Primetime next. We're going to take you through the entire live betting night that we have on tap with Humans and Murray for a solid 4 hours. Good luck with your bets tonight. We'll see you.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.